welcome back to another video. So today we're going to go straight on into it. I just wanted to do a sit down Q&A. Right, I'm going to put this here because do you know when you can hear your ice cubes sort of like hitting each other and making a racket? But yeah, today is about time I just did a sit down chit chat Q&A video. I feel like it's been the longest time since, you know, I just stripped it back and just did a video where I had a bit more of a chat with you guys, because a lot of my videos tend to be hauls, fashion related, cleaning, a little bit of interior and lifestyle. Is there anything else? I can't even think off the top of my head. But yeah, today I just wanted to do something that doesn't involve me showing you things where I spent money on things. I just wanted to, like I said, strip it back and just have a chat, answer some questions that you guys have got, and that's it really. I was going to make a gin for this video, but do you know what? I just didn't fancy it. I think if it had been warmer outside then I would have, but it was really warm yesterday, then it's gone cold today, typical England. So yeah, I've got my coffee because I know with these sorts of videos I do tend to talk a lot, and I will need that else I end up sort of getting like a dry throat. Right, question number one, what did you do before YouTube? I have spoken about this before. I think I've even done a video on what I did, but just in case you didn't know, I did actually work in fashion and I was a fashion merchandiser. So I have had various jobs within fashion and working for different people. One has been Misguided, that was my most recent one. The one I left to do YouTube full time. So I worked for Misguided for a year. I wasn't actually based in Manchester. They did have a head office in Leicester because a lot of their production is done in Leicester. Before that I worked for a licensed t-shirt company. So we basically sold all the licensed t-shirts to Misguided, Pretty Little Thing, ASOS, Boohoo, all of them sorts of brands I worked with. So I was the senior fashion merchandiser at that company. So, oh my God, it was so stressful because I literally had like 9 fashion companies that I used to run the accounts for. So any orders that would come in from them, I would have to manage them from start to finish. And if anybody has worked in licensing as well, you will know it is so stressful because I'm already having to manage all the orders and get all the fabrics on the floor and, you know, check up on my factories and make sure they're doing their jobs and stuff. But then I'm also having to be on the phone to the licensing companies to make sure all the licenses have been approved because they have to get sent away to the artists. Honestly, it's a massive procedure, licensed t-shirts and, you know, just anything with a license on. So for example, you know, like Disney licenses, if you ever have a t-shirt with a Disney logo on, that has to have a license for it. So if I'm Pretty Little Thing and I'm buying a Disney t-shirt, I have to purchase that from a company that has the license. I can't just get a print put on it. There's a lot that goes into it. So yeah, that was a really stressful job, but I did love it all the same. And then my job before that, again, I worked in fashion, but I actually did a different role. I did social media and marketing, which I didn't know as much. I feel like merchandising for me was definitely where I felt most happiest. I feel like with merchandising, I just loved having control of something from start to finish. I mean, don't get me wrong, you do get that with marketing. I guess with marketing, it's when you see like your advertising campaign, or like, let's say if you're working with influencers and you do something with them and then the products sell out and they do really well. So yeah, you do sort of get job satisfaction in a different way, but I don't know, I just really enjoyed merchandising. It was always on your feet, there was always something to do. I loved being organised and having like a critical path and like going through it and highlighting it, and I don't know, it was just where I felt most comfy and I enjoyed it. So yeah, that was my job before YouTube. And if I wasn't doing YouTube now, I think I definitely still would be doing that because I really enjoyed it. Or I feel like if I wasn't doing merchandising, I probably would have gone into buying because I did enjoy that as well. I used to work quite closely with a lot of the buyers from like Misguided and Pretty Little Thing. So yeah, I sort of had like an insight into their job and quite fancied that. So I think I would have done that if I hadn't have done fashion merchandising. Next up, how did you start to get your YouTube noticed and out there? I feel like this is such a popular question. I've had so many of you ask me this. There's not really like a one answer to this, to be honest. I feel like there's a lot of things that go into getting your YouTube out there and noticed. But I would say the biggest thing to getting yourself out there on YouTube is being consistent. There is absolutely no point setting up a YouTube channel if you're only going to post content, let's say, once a month. If you're someone that's looking to grow and, you know, really want to have like a serious YouTube channel and potentially, let's say, do it as a job, I feel like you've got to be consistent at it. It's like anything in life. If you're not consistent and you don't keep working and working on something, you're not going to see the results. So for example, in regards to me, when I set up my YouTube channel, it was merely just as a hobby. Honestly, I never set up my channel thinking I'm going to be a full-time YouTuber. That just wasn't even something that I didn't even understand you could earn money as a YouTuber. Like, I didn't even know. Like, I knew it was a job because I knew people like Zoella and whatever did it, but I never really understood how you could make money. And yeah, it just wasn't something that I ever really thought of doing for money, because I had my job in fashion and I really enjoyed that. So YouTube for me was merely just a hobby. So at the weekends on a Saturday and Sunday, some people would go to the park and play football or go dancing, or, you know, whatever your hobby would be. Mine would genuinely be just getting my ring light out and my camera and showing everyone what I've been buying, and fashion videos and whatever I did. So that's how it started, and because I sort of consistently did 2 videos a week, I guess from that I started growing. And yeah, there's not really a lot to it than that. For me, it was merely being consistent. But I do know for some people that that on its own doesn't work now, because I know that there are so many people doing YouTube. So I guess it's probably a little bit harder now. I do also think that, you know, you need to have something about yourself. Not saying that I've got this big personality or that I'm so amazing to watch, because I'm not saying that at all. But what I would advise you doing is getting someone to watch your videos and just to give you a little bit of feedback. So whether that's like a friend, your mom, just ask them for some real constructive feedback. Just say, look, forget that you know me, just give me some feedback of where I could improve. Because I've had girls come to me and say, can you watch my video, like, where am I going wrong? And sometimes I will watch these videos and, you know, it's nothing to their personality. They could have a really good personality, but if the editing's not right, like if you've got really long pauses in between each thing, you know, if you've got like loads of things going on in the background, if your setup doesn't look a little bit professional, there's a lot of elements that can sort of make you non-watchable to people. So I think it's good to get feedback from people as well to know where you could be going wrong, because if you aren't getting views or growing, you then need to sort of think, right, where am I going wrong? And have a look at your content and think, is it my content? Is it boring? Do people want to watch it? If you think, well, no, actually my content is good, well then have a look at, you know, you and how you're presenting the video and how you're speaking. Are you flowing? Are you making it interesting? Are you adding your personality in it, or are you just being a robot? I feel like there's a lot of different elements. So yeah, it's not so straightforward as just being consistent. I would say consistency is one, but then also there's a lot else that goes into it. I think a key one as well is showing your personality. The worst thing you can do is come on YouTube and make a video and just be stiff and robotish. I know it's so easy to be like that because you're probably not used to filming with a camera, you know. I guess that is something as well that you get used to over time. But yeah, just practice speaking to the camera. I didn't mean that answer to be so long-winded, but I would say biggest one is consistency. But like I said, there's a lot of other elements. So if you are feeling a bit deflated and like your YouTube isn't doing as well as you would want it to be, start nitpicking, you know. Be your worst. Sometimes you have to be your, what's that saying, like your biggest critic. So I do it with myself all the time. Like I will look at my YouTube videos and be like, I don't like that, I don't like how I'm speaking there, or I don't like that background, I don't like my camera quality. You know, there's always improvements to be made, even with the biggest YouTubers. So yeah, that is my answer. Next question, do you think YouTube has changed you as a person? 100% yes. I would say, firstly, it has helped my confidence no end. Before YouTube, I used to be so timid, so shy. For people that knew me at school, honestly, I think that's probably one reason why I massively got bullied, because I was the shy, quiet girl. I wasn't this confident, talkative, bubbly person. I was just that girl that, yeah, kept my head down, was really shy, really timid, wouldn't dare speak or stand up for myself. And it's so weird that looking back at that person, because I'm so different to that now. Like I feel like YouTube has really brought on my confidence. I feel like other things have as well. I definitely feel that with my confidence I have pushed myself a lot, and I think that's the biggest thing with helping gain more confidence. Pushing yourself out of your comfort zone and pushing yourself to do the things that you wouldn't normally do. So I would say confidence is a big one in which YouTube has helped me and changed me. How else has YouTube changed me? I don't think it has changed me as a person. Like I am still the same old Laura that first set up YouTube. Like I haven't actually changed as a person. Yeah, it's quite a tough question, but I think the biggest thing I would say is confidence. It's definitely helped me with my confidence. Next question, has quarantine, lockdown affected your job? Yeah, I think like for the most people, it definitely has affected my work. I mean, obviously I'm still here filming and working now, but in regards to like paid work with brands and stuff, a lot of my sponsorships have been put on hold for the foreseeable future. It's just a knock-on effect, I guess, in society at the moment with everything that's going on. You know, brands can't really commit to keeping their contracts with people because obviously their work is going down because people haven't got money, so people aren't as likely to be spending and buying clothes, makeup and whatever, so then they can't really guarantee their contracts with people still. So in regards to sponsorships, all of my contracts with brands have been put on hold for the foreseeable future. So yeah, I don't have any of them at the moment. So all I really have is my AdSense money, and if I do affiliate links, which I don't really do an awful lot, but yeah, I can still, if I wanted to, make money through them. So yeah, it definitely has affected me as well, but like I said, I am still lucky in getting like one revenue still, which is my AdSense. Next up, how do you stay so positive during self-isolation? I'm really struggling and I end up in bed all day. I've had a lot of these as well. People saying that they're really struggling to, you know, stay positive and stay motivated during this time because, you know, it isn't the norm for us all to be stuck in. I know we can get out for one walk a day, but even little things, like I was saying to my mom, like I really miss just being able to go in my car and like potter around shops. Like I love doing that. I love going to Home Sense and smelling all the candles and, you know, just having a look in the stores. I know that sounds really sad, but I just enjoy doing that. I would say the biggest thing to help stay positive is just to get yourself in a bit of a routine. As easy as it is to stay in bed all day and not do anything, I really feel like you need to just treat this time as if you are still at work. I know some people are still working from home, so I guess for you guys, you may have a little bit more of a routine than others, but if you are someone at home that hasn't got work, like your work has literally been cancelled or you've been laid off or you just don't have any work, I would definitely say get yourself into a routine. Treat it as a working day still. So set your alarm in the morning for 8 o'clock, like a reasonable time, like 8 o'clock I think. Get yourself up, do your blinds straight away, make your bed, because once your bed's made, there's no getting back in there. Put your clothes on straight away. Don't just lounge around in your pajamas. That's the number one thing I always do in the morning. I get straight into clothes. I don't stay in my pajamas because when I'm in my pajamas, I feel unproductive. I'm likely to lounge around and waste more time in the morning. Yeah, but then I like to make myself a cup of tea, write a to-do list, and just get straight on with it. So yeah, you could write yourself a to-do list, even whether it's cleaning you've got to do, organising, even if it's just watch some series on Netflix. So yes, to summarise being positive whilst isolated, my advice would be just to try and give yourself a routine. Set your alarm in the morning, have a little bit of a schedule, even if it's just your daily cleaning, going for a walk and little things like that on your to-do list. I always just feel that when I have a to-do list and I've managed to tick something off, I just feel a sense of accomplishment for that day. So that's my biggest piece of advice. But like I said, just remember, we all have good days, we all have bad days, and it is normal to have days where you feel lethargic, unmotivated, unproductive. Just recognise that, take some time out to do the things that you enjoy, whether that's just watching Netflix, having a nap, anything that you want. Don't feel guilty about having bad days because we all have them, especially with what we're going through right now. But the biggest thing to try and stay, you know, motivated and positive 80% of the time, in my opinion, is just having a little bit of a schedule and routine still. Next question, where are you from? So just in case you guys don't know, I'm originally from Leicester and I moved to Nottingham about a year and a half ago now. And yeah, best decision ever. Do not regret moving to Nottingham. I love Nottingham. I don't think I'll ever move back to Leicester now. Nottingham is my home. I've always been in and around Nottingham anyway, because where I lived in Leicester, it was very close to Nottingham, so it was really easy access to get to Nottingham. It was only ever like 40 minutes to Nottingham. I also went uni at Nottingham, so I went Nottingham Trent Uni for 3 years. So yeah, I've always sort of been here, just never lived here until like a year and a half ago. Okay, so the next question is the one that you're all waiting for the answer to, because I had so many of you ask me this, and I did actually address this on Instagram a few months ago now, but just in case you didn't see it, the question is, are you still with Aaron, and if not, what happened? So me and Aaron aren't together anymore, unfortunately, which I know is so sad. And you know, I've got a lot of love for Aaron. Me and Aaron did not split up in a bad way. Like, it was nothing bad. There is no bad blood between us at all. We are still friends, as friendly as can be after a breakup, like, let's be honest. I just think that when you've split up with someone, it's very hard to be friends. You know, as much as you want to be friends, there is going to come a day where we just don't speak anymore, and that is just inevitable. I know some people are friends with their exes, but I just think it's hard staying friends and then moving on whilst being friends with your ex. Does that make sense? So at the moment, we are still friends. We do still speak to each other now and again, and that's great, and you know, we're happy with that. Like I said, we're just friends, and we both acknowledge that. But yeah, that's all there is to it, really. I'm not obviously going to sit and delve deep into why we split up and the ins and outs. There was nothing bad, no one cheated or anything like that. It was just merely, this is how I tried to describe it on Instagram. There was just adult issues that needed sorting out that didn't get sorted. For me, it was just a case of I couldn't move forward in a relationship with someone whilst these adult issues weren't sorted, which was super frustrating. And so for me, it was just more of a case of waiting for something to happen and waiting, and it just not happening. So yeah, it definitely wasn't an easy breakup. I think breakups are hard enough as they are, but especially so when things that I guess could have been resolved just weren't ever getting resolved. That's the hardest part. But you know, it's been a few months now, sort of accepted the situation, and like I said, it's nice that we're still friends, because Aaron's such a good guy. Like, he genuinely is. He's got a heart of gold. He's like the nicest person ever. And yeah, it's just unfortunate, but who knows what the future holds. But yeah, at the moment we aren't together, and yeah, that's the answer to it, really. And then the next question is, are you seeing anyone new? No, I'm not seeing anyone. Completely single and just focusing on myself at the moment. And the next question, again, this sort of leads on and is quite funny. Would you ever go on Love Island? 100% definitely not. Love Island is just not for me. Reality TV in general is just something that I don't think I would ever do. I mean, never say never. Well, no, actually, I can say never. I wouldn't do it. One thing that I am very certain about since doing this as a job is being famous. I would not want that if you paid me £1 million. Like, I get to go to a lot of these parties where, you know, famous people are, and just watching them and seeing their life, I couldn't think of anything worse. You know, they leave the clubs and they get impacted, and there's people trying to get up the skirts and get the shot, and oh, it's all eyes on you. And it's bad enough now, like when you get a bit of negativity on YouTube and people think they know you and have got something to say, heighten that by 1 million, and that's what you're gonna get. I'd say to be famous, you've got to have a very thick skin, and you've got to understand that you're never gonna have a private life. And for me, I do like having a private life. I think yeah, it's just not for me. That just wouldn't be for me. That lifestyle would definitely not be for me, being famous. So that's one massive reason why I'd never want to do a reality TV show. And secondly, I feel like with reality TV, you know, this is no offense to anybody that has done reality TV, you do get judged because of it. Like, let's be honest, you know, when you go on programs like Love Island, you are then not really successful in your own right. You're successful off the back of a TV program. Does that make sense? And I don't mean that harsh, and like I said, it's no offense to anyone that's been on a reality TV show. Not that anybody is going to be watching me that has been on a reality TV show, but I do feel like your success is based off the back of being on a reality TV show. And for me personally, I want to be successful within my own right and work my way up on my own. It's like when you're in a job and you work your way up. I got into YouTube fluky, really, you know, it was a hobby and I managed to grow my platform as a hobby. And you know, now that I am sort of, let's say, climbing the ladder, my subscribers are going up, I'm doing a little bit better, I want to continue that on my own right, not through the back of going on Love Island. You know, let's be honest, you go on to Love Island and you basically got a free pass to followers and brand deals and things like that. You know, I want a brand to work with me because I do a good job of creating content and they like my style. And does this make any sense? I feel like I'm probably rambling, but yeah, that's another reason why I wouldn't do reality TV, because I think for most people that go on there, it's like they just go on there because they know it's going to make them money when they come out of it, and I'm not really bothered about that. So yeah, let's just cut the answer short. Wouldn't do reality TV. I would happily do like a documentary or something educational, because that's not really going to lead you to being famous, I don't think. Well, I hope it wouldn't. If it would, I wouldn't. But yeah, like documentaries and things, I think I wouldn't mind doing. I don't feel like you get tarnished either. So yeah, definitely a no from me for reality TV. I have been asked a few times to do Love Island. I think I got asked for Survivor of the Fittest, The Circle. There's been a few TV programs I've been asked to do, but yeah, declined them all because just not for me, unfortunately. Okay, so next question is how to know that a breakup was the right thing to do. I think with this it's really hard because it just depends why you broke up, but I always say when you break up with someone, you need to write a list of all the reasons that you're breaking up with them. So like know the reasons you're breaking up with them, and then look back at that list and remind yourself. And you know, if they're still valid, then that's your reason. So you should just know that you're walking away from that person because of those reasons, and that you couldn't live with them. Because let's be honest, if you could have lived with them for them reasons, you'd still be with them. So yeah, I think that for me is my philosophy anyway. You know, if someone has these reasons that you can't be with them and they've not changed and they are still that person, then that was the reason you walked away, because you couldn't move forward with them. Okay, next question. Has your plans for buying a house been put on hold now you're single? No, still very much looking to buy a house. Like for me, being in a relationship wouldn't really affect me buying a house or not. Like if I was with someone and obviously, you know, I was looking to spend the rest of my life with them, then of course I'd be looking to buy the house with them and having obviously a joint mortgage with them. But as I'm now on my own, that just means I'd be getting a mortgage on my own and buying a house on my own. So no, now that I'm on my own, it hasn't been put on hold. But I would say the current state of the economy has put my house buying on hold, because as you guys know, like if you have been following what's going on, we are more than likely going to go into a massive recession after all of this. So personally, my advice would be not to buy a house now, because I think what you're going to find is you're going to buy a house and then it's just going to go down in value. Like obviously it'll go back up eventually, but it would be better to buy a house if you can still afford to when the recession hits, because the house prices are going to drop. So yeah, it would make sense, because otherwise, let's say you buy a house for 300 grand and then we go into a massive recession and house prices drop to like 260, let's say, you could have bought that house for 260. Does that make sense? So yeah, I'm putting my house hunting, I wouldn't say on hold. I'm still like looking, but I mean there's not really a lot going up on the house sites at the moment because people are obviously not selling for obvious reasons. So yeah, it's sort of been put on hold because of what's going on in the economy. But like I said as well, I'm also waiting until the recession, because then it will be cheaper for me to buy a house. So yeah, it just sort of makes sense, else I will lose money. 10-year plan, dreams, goals. Oh, hard one. 10 years, I will be 38. Blimmin' hell, I'll be touching on 40. I think within the next 10 years, I would like to have sort of like my dream home. I mean, I love this place, to be honest with you, but I mean, you grow, don't you? And if I want kids and stuff, then I want somewhere a little bit bigger. So yeah, dream home, you know, just a nice house. Not on about buying some massive manor house or something. Just a nice 4 or 5 bed detached house in the countryside. My cats, hopefully have a husband by then and be married. Kids, yeah, I mean, I hope I've got kids by the time I'm 38. That's it really. And hopefully as well, you know, my YouTube's still going strong. I think for me, the main thing I want out of the next 10 years is just to be settled. Just to be settled with a husband, be married, like I said, you know, husband, married, kids, and just, yeah, be content with life. That for me is probably the most important thing. Okay, so I've got 2 more questions that I'm going to answer because I do tend to talk a lot. Right, next question. I think this is quite a good question actually. Have you ever turned down a sponsorship? If so, why, and what brand, if you can say? Now, I feel like this is a part of YouTube and YouTubers that you don't really know about, and that's the sponsorships that we turn down. Now, I can't speak for other YouTubers, but for me personally, I definitely don't just accept any old sponsorship. That for me isn't morally right. And yeah, so how I assess if I want to work with a brand personally is if it's a new brand that approached me that I've never heard of, never, you know, tried out their product or clothing or whatever it is that they are providing or wanting me to promote, I will ask them if they can send me over their clothing or product and just let me see what it's about first. There is absolutely no point of me signing something to work with a brand that I've never tried out, or I don't know what the quality's like, I don't know what the product's like. I just don't understand YouTubers that do that. And believe me, there are hundreds of YouTubers that do that. They'll just get an email and they'll go on the website and be like, oh yeah, that looks nice, yeah, I'll work with you. Like, how can you do that? Like, it's just so false. I always think if I wouldn't buy it myself, then I'm not going to promote it to you guys. So for me to work with a brand, I have to 100% know that I would go onto the website and buy something out of my own money, because if I wouldn't, I won't be talking about it. So for example, the brands that I do work with, Pretty Little Thing, Polly, Foxy Locks, they're all brands that before YouTube I have actually purchased from, loved. I still purchase from them now just because I have sponsorships with them, and you know, technically I could get anything gifted from them if I wanted to, but I will still purchase off them. I am not one of these YouTubers that's just going to scrounge everything for free because I can, because I'm not. Like, I just don't agree with that. Like, if I'm doing a campaign with them and they need me to pick out some things, then fair enough. But like, let's say I'm going out somewhere at the weekend, I'm then not going to like message Pretty Little Thing and be like, oh, can you send me your address over? No, I'll go on the website and order it myself. Yeah, a lot of the brands that I have long-term sponsorships with, I have shopped on their websites for years, have liked them way before I started getting paid to work with them. And then occasionally I will work with brands where I haven't like bought anything off them, or you know, I don't know anything about them. But if I do, that is merely because I have tried out their stuff already. So I've had their clothing sent over, I've had their products sent over, and I've sort of reviewed it, tried it out and tested it, and then I've said, yeah, okay, like, I'll work with you. But I will definitely not work with a new brand until I've tried and tested something. There is just no way. Like, it's just so wrong on every level. Like, don't even get me started, because I see so many YouTubers working with brand sponsorships that I've turned down, and I know the products are crap because I've tried them, and then it's so infuriating. But I will answer a few brands that I have turned down, just so you know. So most recently I turned down a brand sponsorship with Function of Beauty. Probably seen a few people do that one. Personally, product that I wouldn't buy, over expensive, and yeah, nothing more to say. By the way, if anyone has bought anything off there and does love the product, then you know, it's all personal opinion, isn't it? Some people like things, some people don't. But for me personally, I just didn't like it. I also turned down a big contract sponsorship with Muscle Food once. So I tried their products. You might have actually saw that I tried their products because I did put them on my Instagram stories when I received the parcel. But at that point, I was still trying out the food. I found the quality of food to be shocking. So I was definitely not going to go ahead with that sponsorship and tell you guys to go and buy it when I would not have gone and bought it myself. So yeah, there's loads. Trust me, if I wanted to, I could make double what I earn, but I don't. So it's interesting actually, because you almost get like a bit of insight knowledge into who you think may be being genuine and who you know may not be being genuine. But for me personally, I would rather earn less money and just people know that if I'm promoting something, it's because I genuinely love it. Like, what is it, like your reputation? Like, your reputation is worth more than money. Yeah, I think that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, reputation is worth more than, not even reputation, like credibility. Like, could you imagine if I just said yes to everything? Like, people are going to be like, oh, here's Laura, another sponsorship. Oh, she's only talking about it because she gets paid. Like, I would hate for people to think that I'm only doing something because I get paid. So, no, I'd rather just do the brands that I know, love, support, and would actually buy from than any old brand. Anyway, yeah, I'm not going to answer anymore because I feel like this video is going to be quite lengthy, rumbly and chatty as it is. But thank you for all of your questions. Hopefully that has covered your questions and, yeah, gave you the answers that you're looking for. Thank you also so much for watching. If you are new here, then please hit the subscribe button and also give this video a thumbs up if you have enjoyed it. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you're all keeping safe and I shall see you all in my next video. Bye bye.